Hi everybody, welcome to another video. Today we're talking about new Raidraptor and Phantom Knight support that's coming out in Phantom Rage. We've had a lot of news come out in the last couple of days, so I'm going to go through each of them in a different video. But this one's going to cover the Raidraptor and Phantom Knight support. That's just it was announced yesterday. I decided to sit on it, think about it a wee bit more before I actually give my thoughts and feelings on it. But with that being said, let's get on with the video. Raider's Wing, level 4 Winged Beast effect monster, 0 attack, 2000 defense. This card is always treated as a Phantom Knight and Raidraptor card. That is important for a lot of the searching and stuff like that. If this card, you can only use this card's first effect once per turn. If this card is in your graveyard, you can hand or graveyard, you can detach a material from a Dark Xyz monster you control, special summon this card, banish it when it leaves the field. And then if an Xyz monster you control whose original attribute is dark and has this card as material, gains its effect, can't be targeted. Overall, it's a solid card. The fact that it classes itself as both Phantom Knights and Raidraptor is really important, because with cards like Raidraptor's Nest, you can sort of search this out and stuff like that. So overall, it's a solid card. I think this will be a staple in Raidraptors at least anyway, because of the fact that it can special summon itself. You also have things like Force Strix, which is a dark attribute, which means you do your search with this. You do your search with Force Strix, then use Force Strix's other material to special summon this, then you special summon another Raidraptor, going to another Force Strix, so on and so forth. The next monster, Phantom Knight's Stained Greave, level 3 Dark Warrior effect monster, 1200 attack, 600 defense. Attack and defense is really important. It's warrior, so reinforcement can search if needs be. You can only use the first and second effect of this card once per turn. If a Phantom Knight monster is special summoned to your field, you can special summon this card from your hand, increase the card's level by 1. You banish the card from your graveyard, special summon a Phantom Knight monster from your hand, except itself. Then you can increase its level by 1. Another solid card for Phantom Knights. Allows for Break Sword or Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon plays. So it's overall a very good solid card. Definitely something that needs to be run at least 2 or 3 of in the deck. Then we get Phantom Knights of Tier Scale. Level 3 Dark Warrior effect monster, 600 attack, 1600 defense. Can only use this card's first and second effect once per turn. You discard one card, send a Phantom Knights card from your deck to your graveyard, except itself. And then if another Phantom Knights card is banished from your graveyard and this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card by banish it when it leaves the field. Another solid card. Personally, I wouldn't use this for the normal summon. I would get this into the graveyard and then special summon it via its own effect. But the fact they can send any Phantom Knights card from deck to graveyard is something that the deck really needed. So it'll help to get into the Fog Blades and all that sort of place. Overall, the 2 Phantom Knights monsters are very solid, and the other monster is classed as Phantom Knights card. So overall, this support is really good for what the decks need. And then our next monster is a Raidraptor monster. Raidraptor's Hail Eagle, 700 attack and defense, level 3 Winged Beast effect monster. The fact this is level 3 is interesting because as of from right now, there is only one rank 3 Raidraptor monster. So the fact that these guys have a Raidraptor monster that's level 3 will help get into that monster. If only the monsters you control Raidraptor monsters, minimum 1, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target Raidraptor spell card or trap card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. It's good support. They're really pushing for these 2 decks to do really well, and the fact that they have support that work with each other, or can be classed as either or, is really useful and can help with a lot of strategies. Next monster, Raidraptor's Strangolanius, 1600 attack, 1100 defense, level 4 Winged Beast monster. You can only use this card's first and second effect once per turn. If you control a dark monster, special summon this card from your hand, but you can only special summon dark monsters for the rest of the turn. If an Xyz monster you control has material attached to it that was originally a dark Xyz monster, you can target one level 4 or lower Raidraptor monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but its effects are negated. This is awesome support. The second effect is a bit situational because you're going to have to use rank ups and stuff like that for this effect to be really, really good. But in Raidraptors, with the fact that it does do a lot of ranking up, I don't see it being that much of a restriction. But again, the fact that this essentially is a 1 card Wise Strix whenever you rank up. There is one monster in the Raidraptor archetype. It's a rank 6 or 7. It can rank itself up by discarding a rank up magic card, or a rank up spell card. Sorry, I'm getting magic and Yu-Gi-Oh mixed up in my head. A rank up spell card. So that in and of itself is really good, so it helps with that a wee bit. But overall, the main deck monsters for the Phantom Knights and Raidraptors are awesome. I don't see these not being run. This one I might see as a 2 of because it's a level 3. So unless you have a way of level modulation in Raidraptors that I'm not aware of, this thing is not going to be as useful. It'll be useful for the Link summon, for the Link monsters and stuff like that. But obviously Rusty Bard is just banished, so we're not using that one. We'll be using probably the Y-Strix Raidraptor monster. We got a new rank 5 Xyz monster for the XYZ Dragon archetype. Arc Rebellion XYZ Dragon. 3000 attack, 2500 defense, rank 5 Dark Dragon Xyz monster. Requires 3 level 5 monsters. You can only use this card second effect once per turn. Can't be destroyed by card effects. And then you can detach material. Cannot declare attacks except for this card. And this card gains attack of all the monsters on the original attack of all the monsters on the field. Then if it had a Dark Xyz monster attached as material, negate the effects of all face-up monsters on the field. I'm going to compare this to Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon because essentially Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon is the other variation of this card that you will be going into if you're ranking up into these types of monsters. So Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon, same stat line, same summoning requirements, but if you have Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon as material on it, it can you can detach a material, then reduce the monster's attack to 0, and Dark Requiem gains the attack. So it's an upgraded version of Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, but it also has the ability to negate a card and then summon an XYZ monster from your graveyard in response to that summon. So this is the OTK machine if there's a lot of monsters on the field, whereas Dark Requiem is if your opponent has a big monster, you can basically OTK them with that and have a bit of protection as well during your opponent's turn. But overall, this is a solid monster. This will be a 1 of, I think, in the extra deck. The same with Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon if you're running Dark Rebellion. But they do have a new rank up spell. Now, the biggest issue I've had with rank up spells is it specifies how many levels you go up, so 1 or 2. So they are very situational. This goes over that restriction very heavily with a really cool cost. So during the main phase, banish any number of dark monsters from your graveyard. Target a Dark Xyz monster control special summon from your extra deck 1. Phantom Knights, Raidraptor, or Xyz Dragon Xyz monster that is N ranks higher, where N is the number of monsters banished to activate this effect. It's treated as a Xyz summon, and then you transfer the materials over. And then for the rest of this turn after this effect resolves, you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck except the Xyz monsters. You will not be using this probably for the Phantom Knight monsters. I will be saying this now because the Phantom Knight monsters are only rank 2 and rank 3. So unless we're getting a new Phantom Knights Xyz monster, I don't see this happening. Raidraptors, on the other hand, go from level 4 to level 12. So this will be the big one. And then Xyz Dragon, obviously, you've got the rank 5s and then the rank 4s. So really, this is going to be more used, I think, in Raidraptors than anything else. But it's really good because you can use things like Pot of Acquisitiveness, essentially, and shuffle materials back into the deck, draw cards, stuff like that. So there is a wee bit of synergy with this stuff. So hopefully we'll wait and see that. But I think this will be a very powerful card in Raidraptors, and I think this will help push Raidraptors to another tier entirely. There's a couple trap cards. Raider's Unbreakable Mind. Again, this card is also treated as a Phantom Knights or Raidraptor card. So with cards like some of the Phantom Knights that banish themselves to search out spells and traps, this is one of the key cards for that. So this will be able to search them out. If you Xyz summon a monster by using a Dark Xyz monster material, target one card in the field, destroy it. If this card is destroyed by a card effect, you can set a rank up spell card directly from your deck or graveyard. You can only use each of these effects only once per turn. It's a good effect. The pop of card's quite cool, so if you do it during your opponent's turn, you've essentially got an interruption. And then, for whatever reason, if your opponent, say, uses Lightning Storm to blow up your back row, this will activate then. And you can set a rank up directly from the deck, which helps out because it means then you can set this card. And then if your opponent tries to do anything, you can rank up into one of the big monsters, essentially, because of it. So it's kind of like... It's this thing of like Lightning Storm starts becoming more of like you start to worry to use it on the back row because things like that have this effect of destroying themselves. So what you could do is during your opponent's standby phase, if you feel like they have the Lightning Storm, you flip this, activate it, and then your opponent will be hesitant to activate the Lightning Storm because the Lightning Storm will happen, blow up the back row, then they get the rank up, and then your opponent still has to deal with a rank up magic sitting somewhere in the back row. Final card is a Raidraptor's Phantom Claw, or Phantom, well, from the English translation, from what we're seeing, it's Raidraptor's Phantom Knight's Claw. So another Phantom Knight Raidraptor card. So this will be, again, so this is a negate for both archetypes, which is pretty cool. But when a monster effect is activated, detach material from a Dark Disease monster you control. Negate the activation if you do destroy it. Then, if the material you detach to activate this card was originally the Phantom Knight's Raidraptor or Xyz Dragon card, one Xyz, when Raidraptor Xyz monster you control gains attack equal to the original attack of the monster destroyed by this effect. In this archetype, this last effect will always go off as long as you have a Raidraptor Xyz monster. The problem, though, being you have to run Raidraptors in the deck that uses this card to fully get its effect. But the fact that this card just negates entirely is really good. And then the fact that you'll be detaching the Phantom Knight's Raidraptor or Xyz Dragon card, it's not really a restriction on this archetype. You will be detaching one of them as a material. So this second effect, as long as you have a Raidraptor on the board, will always get its attack boost. So overall, my thoughts and feelings on the support, it's great. I think this is a great start to this type of series that they wanted to do. So with Rise of the Duelist, we got a lot of like pushing for older archetypes that maybe haven't seen a lot of support in a while. And the fact that they're going to continue this and print actual good support for these older archetypes that are maybe getting outshone in the newer formats with like monsters and stuff like that and everything floating around. This will help a lot of these archetypes. Will this push these decks to top tier? Probably not. I think they'll push them to at least a good solid tier. I think Phantom Knights without Rusty Bardish will now be put to maybe at best tier 2. As long as they're getting to go first and getting to set up their board and stuff like that. Raidraptors, I think, will be about a tier 2.5. You'll see them there, they'll do their things, and they'll probably sit on like a Raidraptor Ultimate Falcon, which is hard to destroy. But overall, I think this is a really solid start to the archetypes. And with that, guys, that's the video. Please give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.